Today's rundown at Dolphins Today. Malik Washington, the 6th-round rookie out of Virginia. Is he going to flash and erupt onto the scene for the Dolphins in 2024? And then also, ESPN ranked the entire offseason in the National Football League, gave out letter grades, best move, worst move, biggest thing that happened for each team. Wanted to go over the Dolphins one because they actually showcased some praise for Chris Grier and Miami. But make sure you are following us over on social media, whether it be my personal Twitter, where I have 1,053 followers, Nic_Rohloff is the handle, or our Instagram at Dolphins Today IG. I post daily content surrounding the Fins on YouTube, but I also do it even more on Twitter and Instagram. So go give us a follow. I promise you, you will not regret it. All right, let's get into Malik Washington now, who the Dolphins selected in the 6th round of the NFL draft out of Virginia. And it is absolutely Malik Washington hype season. Bleacher Report named about 7 or 8 rookie wide receivers that they could see erupting and being a big-time playmaker for their respective team in 2024. And Malik Washington did make the list. Brent Sobleski from Bleacher Report had this little excerpt on why he believes Malik Washington will break out. He said Washington provides a tank to work the middle of the field. The 5'9", 191-pounder plays more like a running back than a wide receiver after making the catch. He led major college football last season with 110 receptions and 35 forced missed tackles for Virginia. And we have shown this time and time again on the channel. I love Malik Washington. I think he's going to be an absolute playmaker for the Miami Dolphins. He's just absolutely terrific, and he is going to carve out a role over the middle of this field for this Dolphins offense. I mean, how can you have this good of a season on a team that does not have a good quarterback or a good passing game, but not be drafted higher in the 6th round? Like, I was talking with our NFL draft expert, Tom Downey. You guys know him quite well, as he was a spot host for a little bit. But he had Malik Washington as a top 100 guy in the draft. He thought he was going to be gone by day 2. And he was still there in the 6th round for Miami. He is so quick, so twitchy, and he is going to just absolutely dominate over the middle of the field. He can do everything Mike McDaniel wants over the middle of the field. He's not afraid to take a lick when running a slant or a drag route. He can run those stick routes to perfection. And in the Mike McDaniel quick passing game offense that we've seen, he just will be able to add another layer and another dimension to this offense in this passing game. When you have Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle stressing a defense deep, and yes, we're not even mentioning Odell Beckham Jr., but Washington working on linebackers, nickels, safeties between 10 yards of the line of scrimmage, he's just going to put people on skates, and he is going to find a role, and he is going to be effective for the Miami Dolphins in 2024. I'm very excited to see what the 6th-round wide receiver can do. I think he's going to erupt for Miami. And this brings me to this question, and you might think this is a little bit low on the what we can ask here, but will Malik Washington have over or under 400 receiving yards in 2024? I know you might say that's low, but he is still, at least right now, 4th on the depth chart behind 3 pretty big names. So let me know. Type O for over, type U for under. I will say, as we continue the conversation, it helps that Mike McDaniel absolutely loves Malik Washington. And if he loves him, that means he's probably going to be featured pretty heavily in the offense. When Malik Washington was drafted, and I want to go flashback to this, in late April, Chris Grier, the GM for the Dolphins, told Malik Washington this. He's, referring to Mike McDaniel, been bugging me to draft you here in the last couple of rounds. So Mike McDaniel obviously wanted Miami to pick him in the 4th, 5th round on day 3. Well, Mike McDaniel didn't dispute that quote. He said also to Malik Washington, that's an understatement. I've been seriously annoying towards him. Your rookie year can be very productive if you're a pro, which I know you can be immediately because you're going to have the opportunity. We'll see what role Malik Washington can carve in this Dolphins offense in 24, having to work behind Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, and Odell Beckham Jr. But to me, there is no doubt about this. Malik Washington possesses the route running, the hands, and the talent to be a top-tier slot receiver in the NFL. Is he ever going to be someone that can work on the boundary consistently? Probably not, just due to his 5'9" frame. but he can be one of the best slot receivers in the National Football League. There are roles out there for that. The Dolphins have that need, and I think he's going to fill it perfectly in Mike McDaniel's offense for 2024. Make sure you do subscribe to the channel, because if you want more in-depth Dolphins coverage, this is the place for you. And as we talk more about the Dolphins in training camp in just about a month, Malik Washington will be a topic of conversation, of course, so hit that sub button to be informed on everything surrounding the Fins. All right, let's talk about the ESPN grade now for the Dolphins offseason in 2024, because they actually graded it quite high. A- is the grade that Miami received from ESPN. Seth Walder had the article, and if you're actually wondering, well, where did that rank amongst the rest of the league? Well, it was actually tied for third, or tied for second, technically. They gave the Eagles an A offseason, and then they gave 4 teams A-. Dolphins, Patriots, Chiefs, and Ravens were all given A-, I believe. And they had superlatives for each Dolphins offseason. They said the biggest move that was made was losing Christian Wilkins and Robert Hunt. I actually can't deny that point. Like, losing a top-tier defensive tackle who got paid $100+ million is massive. And then Robert Hunt, your starting right guard, getting a 5-year, $100 million deal is also pretty massive. They labeled the best move for the Dolphins signing cornerback Kendall Fuller to be the Xavier Howard replacement. And then they gave the worst signing Jordan Brooks, which we'll talk about both these moves here in a second. But here is what Seth Walder exactly had to say about the Dolphins offseason. Seth said, the deal I really like is for Kendall Fuller, a reliable veteran corner who is costing the Dolphins only $15 million for 2 seasons, with just $8 million fully guaranteed. He allowed 1.3 yards per coverage snap, average for a corner, or better in each of the past 5 seasons per NFL Next Gen stats. I'm less excited about Jordan Brooks, considering his 35% run-stop win rate was unspectacular and he struggled in coverage prior to 2023. Now, after this quote, I want to focus the conversation on Jordan Brooks, the linebacker who the Dolphins signed to replace Jerome Baker, who left in free agency. Because, sure, maybe those stats he showed and displayed aren't the most beneficial to Jordan Brooks' case, but I think he's better than advertised. I really do. And he's gotten somewhat better over his entire career with the Seahawks. He was a former first-round pick and a Texas Tech Red Raider. He didn't have the best rookie year, but then he had 184 tackles in 21. Followed it up with 161 tackles, 111 tackles, improving his pass rushing ability every year, by the way, as well, with a 4.5 sacks in 2023. Like, sure, the run stopping rate wasn't great, but I do believe he can be a thumper in the run defense game. Like, he is very athletic. He gets downhill. He hits hard. And him and David Long Jr. working together, I think, is perfect, because you have that hard-nosed run-stopping type linebacker in Jordan Brooks, paired up with an athletic do-it-all linebacker in David Long Jr., and you have a tandem that complements itself really well. And I would expect the run-stopping rate for the linebackers to only bump up this year, because, yes, you lost Christian Wilkins, got Calais Campbell, Zach Sealer. Like, the defensive line is still pretty solid. Like, it's not like it got significantly worse. So Brooks is going to have an opportunity to be really solid in the run-stopping department. I do agree with the concern, though, of him in coverage. His career PFF coverage grade through 4 NFL seasons is 43.4. That is not good. Call a spade, that's not great. But I do think Jordan Brooks won't be asked to cover as much as he was in Seattle due to having David Long Jr. there as well. There is also a possibility where they run a lot of different formations in this Anthony Weaver defense where only one linebacker's on the field. So like in obvious passing situations where it's 3rd and 10, 3rd and 11, maybe Jordan Brooks is not on the field and they go to a 3-safety package where Javon Holland almost rotates in as like a linebacker, or Marcus May. Like, the outcomes are endless. Possibilities are endless with this Dolphins defense because they're so versatile. Anthony Weaver, who comes from a Ravens scheme that likes to do a lot of different things. Like, I don't think Brooks is going to be asked to be a coverage linebacker as much as he was with Seattle. They're going to work to get him in the best possible situation. And I think Brooks is going to be really good for Miami in 2024. Do you believe in Jordan Brooks like I believe in Jordan Brooks? Type Y for yes or type N for no. I believe he's going to be very solid for the Dolphins. You let me know your thoughts down below. Make sure you do follow me on Twitter before we head out of here. At Nic_Rohloff is my handle on Twitter. Also, make sure you follow us on Instagram, too. Dolphins Today IG is that handle. As we said off the top of the show, we're talking more fins in between each video we put here on Dolphins Today over on social media. So if you want more coverage, those are the two places to find it. I'll see you with a video tomorrow. Go Fins.